the uh, the point of the movement for economic empowerment. We are on course, um, and there are interesting developments in the last few days, and I think we will highlight some of these important uh, conversations we've had with
Great.
our colleagues.
I mean, you've been. I don't know what role do you play, Amof? Because sometimes we're confused.
Um, Constitutionally,
Hmm.
I am the national I-10 chairman of the movement for economic empowerment.
The reason why I asked that question is because I called you the other day. There
Certainly,
was a
it is.
press engagement, and they say you were being expelled. So oftentimes I'm wondering, are you expelled or in battle or acting? Yeah. So yeah.
You see, Emmanuel, I think it's important to point out that we are people of law, and that is the foundation of the movement for economic empowerment.
When you say law, because I know a decision was taken following an executive committee meeting that was held. But
Yeah,
yeah.
the May 18 gathering was unconstitutional, and it remains unconstitutional. I am the legitimate national I-10 chair of the movement for economic empowerment. Uh, that that decision
Mhm.
was reached upon the travel of our national chairman, Mr. Raul Sami, who's currently in Addis. And so, by virtue of our constitution, Mr. Sami is out of country, and I serve as the national vice chair for administration. And he's been out close to 6 months now. In fact, by our party law, once you travel, and that which make you incapacitated to adequately discharge your function as per our law, the national vice or your immediate would take the steer to run the affairs of the party. So since then, I remain the national I-10 chair of the movement for economic empowerment, and going forward.
Great.
Like I said, there are interesting times. In fact, we as a party now have shifted. I think all the noise that you've been hearing,
Mhm.
we are at the point of subsiding. It will interest you to know that in the next few days, a week, we will be convening a national reconciliation conference.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that conference will encompass all of the stakeholders of our party, those who were even disenchanted, those who left the party for one way or the other. All of us will be convening to see how we can put our past behind us and to move the movement for economic empowerment forward.
We'll delve into the party's politics, but there are some, cross-cutting national issues. And as one of the opinion voices in the country, we would like you to speak to. First, we want to know your view on the arrest of some of the former government officials, notably former Finance Minister Samuel Tue, Jefferson Kamo. The list goes on. I mean, they were being indicted by the government on corruption. What's your take?
Thank you. As far as my memory set me,
Mm.
I know those who were recently arrested and partially incarcerated. I know that they were self bond. They have self bond, and currently they are out. They include the former uh,
Solicitor General.
yes, Solicitor General,
Yeah,
and also the
1921.
head of the FIA,
Mhm.
the Financial Intelligence Agency, and the former Finance Minister, and also Jefferson
Jefferson
Kamo,
Kamo. Yes.
yes, security advisor to the president. Yeah, Emmanuel, we from the movement for economic empowerment, what is clear, and we want to make it very clear to the public, is that when there are issues of this kind,
Mhm.
the procedure, the processes in due process should be followed. I know the
But I mean,
government, the current government, the current government is
one-
acting. The current government acting on
on an audit report.
reports from
They
previous government,
Mm.
and so we
An audit that was commissioned by the
yes,
former
yes,
government.
yes, by the former government. This government now, we think that they are just implementing and they are following the law. And so, yes, we welcome because this is a report. This is a report. I think it met all the standard. So we welcome the events. We welcome the process, and we think that due process, that's important. Due process no matter who is involved, due process should be accorded.
And that's why they were being, asked to come over.
Yes, sure.
Mhm.
And so the Prime Minister, Mr. Ture, I know from what we've heard, will be in country soon to come and clear his side. So yes, from the Movement for Economic Empowerment, we appreciate the fact
So
that
do you back calls, to prosecute some of the people alleged on corruption and economic sabotage? Do you support call for their prosecution, if you may?
yeah, you see in our national jurisprudence, folks are expected to be innocent until they are
Yeah, that's why through the legal process.
until one way or the found guilty. And so what's happening now, it is a process, and I think with all of what government is doing currently, they have had some sort of evidence through the audit reports. And it is that which they are acting upon. So yes, it's certainly we welcome that because
Do you see this stands as a impetus to fighting corruption head on?
Yeah, there are several ways, but I think
this particular way.
yeah. You see, for so long, Emmanuel, our country for so long, the vicious cycle of impunity. People do things and they are not accounted. They are not held accountable. They are not held responsible for their actions. We think that this is a right step, and I believe it is in the right direction. And mind you, we want to be clear. This decision should be intended to bring out result. We heard from the from President and some of the folks about watch on. We want to, from the Movement for Economic Empowerment, we want to detest this action. We don't want to believe that the government.
What does the government want to achieve?
What
What does the government intend to achieve?
the government? I think I'm not a spokesperson of the government.
I know, but you're backing that for.
Yeah, of course. This is a holistic call. This is a reasonable call. This is a call to action. The issue of corruption, Emmanuel, it has persisted in our body.
What does the government intend to achieve?
Yeah, I think
in this ongoing process.
Yeah, I think is to put a spotlight and to send a caveat, a warning, because just me, at the end of Mr. Bokai's term and the next government, whether it is a UP government coming or whatever government coming, a CC government or a MOVE government, people who were given opportunity to serve with the public trust should have an opportunity to exonerate themselves and to demonstrate the simplest sign of transparency, because you are serving countries. So what I think this action will actually mean is to tell public servant that while you are serving the public interest, while you are serving the public good, you must be watchful, because at the end of it, you must account for your actions. And I think this should not just stop here. This should not just stop with a CDC government official. It should go forward. It should go further. And maybe
you want to be more holistic.
Of course,
judging back from maybe 2006 to 2023, if you may think.
I don't want to say judging back because there are laws.
But you say it should be more holistic.
Yeah, remember, there are laws in the book. The last government before CDC,
but audit doesn't get expired. Remember though.
Yeah, but remember, there are laws on the book. There are laws on the book. It has been 12 years plus additional 6 years since the last government. So what Joseph Boakai is doing, and I think his administration is basically concerned, is to dig out informations from the last government. You see, the CDC government that we align with, you remember?
Yes, sure.
2017 and even last election.
Are you saying arrangement?
We will continue the conversation, Emmanuel.
Yeah, sure.
So the government at the time had the opportunity to audit the
mean former President George Weah?
Yes.
But he said he did it for peace to reign. Because if you went to start, digging us old wounds, I mean, people are always interconnected.
You cannot allow peace to reign at the detriment of ordinary people. Emmanuel, I don't know where you're from.
I'm from Bon County.
But I'm telling you, there are young people as we speak who are walking 12 to 70 miles from one village to another. There are young people across the length and breadth of this country who does not benefit from what their government is doing. They are not impacted by the government actions or activities. So when you have an opportunity to serve, you are in charge of the public trust, and your actions should reflect the least person in our society.
How do you describe former President Weahs when you talk about witch hunt?
I cannot speak for the president. From
No, but
President
I'm just
Weah.
getting your perspective because you're
yeah,
commenting.
and you know, maybe I don't want to believe that Mr. President, former president, actually
And he said he also
had the information to in details, because you see, before this government, even during we as government, there were people who were incarcerated. You know the story of the late Charles Leave. You know the last Ben governor and all of the folks who were arrested. That was not witch hunt. What was that? Was people accounting for what were entrusted them for the public interest. When you come to public service, you come to serve the general good of the country. And so I don't want to agree with former president that this is a witch hunt. Former president had the opportunity, like I said, to have audited the last government for 12 years. He did not do so. Yes, this is a step in the right direction. And I don't think that this is witch hunt. I think it is intended for people to account for the public trust and what were given to them for the benefit of all Liberians.
Great. Let's talk about the LCC report. You remember July 31 was the deadline for officials of government, public officials, to declare their assets, and disappointingly, you have the 26% of those employees or government officials declaring their assets. Do you see it as a good step for President Bouakar's government? Because one of the key reasons why Liberians voted the current president was to fight corruption, and it starts from there because people need to know, what are you taking to public service?
Manuel, you just, I took my words, disappointment. You see, when President Bouakar was campaigning, the mantra was on the basis of open governance, where people will come to public service with clarity and distinction. It is disappointing. And I think I want to call in this manner on the president to act.
But I mean, public officials still have they still have the leisure to go and declare.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. When you listen to the recent press statement by the LCC, the man who leads the government, the man who leads the foreign policy agenda of our country, President Joseph Boakai, took the bold step and public declare his asset rather and publish it. Who are you? You cannot be an assistant minister and you cannot declare. You cannot be a minister or deputy minister. You cannot display. I believe that it has gone so far, and it is time that government should act, or the president should act. You have an opportunity to do so. You were given sufficient time.
They still have.
I agree. But it should not. Emmanuel, you just scored it. You just outlined the percentage. We should be talking. The ratio should be about at least 5 to 4, which should be talking about 70 to 80% of government public officials have declared asset. At least that's a sign of being responsible and responsive. That's not a good sign. And I think the president should encourage his officials, those who he have appointed, to act immediately, so that we know what you come with. And this is you cannot be preaching equity and you have something on your sleeves. So I think it's important, and I know the president will prevail on his junior officers to act in similar manner.
Why asset declaration?
It's important in the simplest form. We want to know what you what you came with, rather. What did you bring? Welcome to public service. And at the end of your service, we want to know what exactly are you living with. And I think it is not just for the public good, it is also good for your own, for your very self. It's also good for your family. It's good for your character. It's important. We want to know what you come in public service with. So when you come in public service, if I come in public service with one vehicle, probably given to me, and I have another, and by the time I'm leaving the position, if I have one or additional one, it's clear. It's sufficient. At least the public knows than when I'm living out.
Is it new in Liberia where public officials will declare their asset, even though it is constitutional?
It is new. It is new. It's unfortunate. Unfortunately, it is new. Unfortunately, it's new. This should not be the case, in fact, because it is constitution. It is on record. It is a public record that before you take over, before you take public offices, you must declare your asset. Well, it's unfortunate. And this with the Buhari regime is it's not just the only government that have done so. Even the Manchester government, these things happen, and we keep saying to you, you cannot be a public servant. You cannot be entrusted with the public interest, and you operate in the manner and form you are. So we know, from our perspective, from the movement economic empowerment, we are certain the president will prevail on his ministers and junior officers to act in accordance, because, like I said in my intro, the mantra this government came with, I think it is important to uphold, that legacy.
Great. We've been joined by Mr. P. Jeremiah from Move. Hello, welcome to the Bumper Show. Why were you late?
Thank you very much for the invite.
Yeah.
Why
did you come late?
Let me apologize for my late arrival. I
know
some engagements
but
around Central Time, and then before I could think I would call up with time. However,
it's good to
it's
be
never
here.
too late. I'm happy that I'm here. Thank you once more for the invite.
I mean, how are you, man? What's up?
Well, I'm great, wonderful, and I'm excited once more to be at the Nation's radio. I was here a few months ago on the Super Money with that of Favli Kamara.
Okay.
And I'm happy this time around I'm on the Bumper Show.
Yeah, along with your chairman.
Yeah, with the acting national chairman of our party.
Yeah, we were just cross-cutting issues, talking about asset declaration. We talk about, the government stance on corruption. Maybe we could get back up before we can, go to some party's politics, since you were late.
Well, thank you very much. Though I was not really following while I was en route as to where the conversation is currently, but I do believe that I think the conversation surrounds current or trending national issues.
Sure, very well.
Of which the issues of the government, initial steps toward the fight against corruption surrounds.
Sure.
And so I like to say that for us, from the Movement for Economic Empowerment, we believe that there can be no economic empowerment of the people in the absence of fighting corruption. And we believe that the reason why the lives of the Liberian people has not been economically empowered over the years, one of such menaces, one of such factors is the prevalence of corruption in the public sector within government. And despite corruption be very prevalent in government, government upon government have not been able to exercise the political will through the president of the day to launch an onslaught war against corruption. So what we saw in few days
what did it demonstrate?
being initiated
What did it demonstrate?
by the United Party-led government under His Excellency President Joseph Boakai is the strongest political will being exercised, intended to launch a full-scale fight against corruption. And we from the Movement of Economic Empowerment sees the action of the president or the government as an evidence of living out to the purpose or the promise upon which the Liberian people voted to bring this government to power. One of the reasons why President Boubacar came to power was because Liberians over the years have longed for a president who will fight corruption in public service. And we know the history. In 2017, the 12 years regime of the United Party government at the time was brought to an end simply because the Liberian people witnessed wanton corruption, the mismanagement of public funds, the pillages of the country's resources. So the Liberian people thought it was to have changed the government of the day to bring in the CDC government led by former President George Manuel Weah. And one of the messages that the Liberian people gave former President Weah was to audit the 2-year regime of former President Seli or the United Party-led government, or implement the other reports that were lying on the shelf for years without implementation. Sadly, when the CDC government came to power, President Weah took the issue of the fight against corruption as something unserious, and on that basis, he tell me as something that he could not meet our way, or he could not effectively carry on what the Liberian people expected relative to the fight against corruption, because he felt that, oh, we are all Liberians, we are one family, and we need peace. So the former government, we got to lead them. Let's build on where they have ended. Let's continue on the developmental initiative they started. Let's just continue and forget about what has happened. Let's put it behind us. But that was a wrong mindset. That was a bad proceeding. And today, that action of former President Weah is now haunting his government. So he himself created the basis for what is obtaining today against his former officials. So we see it as laughable. We see it as an attempt to undermine the fight against corruption. When former President Weah says that the action by the United Party government to initiate the fight against corruption or to prosecute individuals who are indicted into several other reports that were conducted under his regime as a witch hunt, we think that that statement has a propensity to undermine the fight against corruption. It's deceptive and it's dishonest, because every party who wants national leadership will campaign to the Liberian people that when they get the leadership, they will fight against corruption.
Great.
And the CDC had the best opportunity in 6 years to have demonstrated to the Liberian people that in genuine sense, we are committed to the fight against corruption, but persecuting past officials of government under the 12-year regime of former President Seli, who were allegedly accused of corruption in over 80 to 100 other reports conducted by the General Auditing Commission.
Jeremiah Pay is the, I think, Secretary General of the Movement for Economic Empowerment. Mafti Shan is also here. We're talking about some of the trending issues in the country. Remember last week, it was all about corruption. It was about arrests. And now, I think the noise has seized down a bit. We've started a new week. But let's move on to parties politics. You know, you come from a political party that has been rocked by conflict. You know, I see a power struggle. I mean, thankfully, I've attended both conferences. I've been this way and this way, and I've been weighing the different statements. But let me just ask this fair question to Mr. Shen. I mean, can you describe the current state of your party and the nature of the struggles and power within MOVE as it stands?
As we speak, the current state of the party is becoming stable.
It's becoming.
Becoming stable.
So as it stands, it's unstable.
It becoming stable.
But what's the current status?
The current status, we are leading, as I said to you earlier, we are transitioning to a process where we want to unify our all of our partisans, and that is bringing us to the a conference on unification. Or
how soon?
We intend to have that in this month, August. We have met after series of consultation and by unanimous consensus, we will
From both sides?
certainly, certainly.
Did you
Emmanuel.
meet with Kimea? Did you sit with him?
Kimia,
Because I mean on the other end, then you always on the other end. So that's what I'm asking.
yeah, we except for one sticky issue that we have not clear, we haven't cleared out with the former political leader. That's the only key sticky issue. But we are on course with negotiation, conversation, and like I said earlier, by unanimous consensus, we are leading the party to a unification
Somebody
conference.
is just listening to the radio and the very first time wants to know, I mean, the move. Why this, division or this quote unquote conflict? How did it start? I mean, how did it originate?
The origin of what's happening at the moment, it is the desire
Mhm.
of folks to blatantly violate the party's constitution. You see, Emmanuel, when you go to a process and you affix your signatures to a document to uphold the tendency of how you operate the institution, it is very important.
I want to ask you this
You see-
question. If you were having an engagement right now, are you allowed to use the party premises? The one around the city hall, Pinsville? Do you go there?
The last time we were at the party office was on Unification Day.
That was in May.
Yeah, that was in May. That was when we had a very important meeting. You may be surprised to know that we met at the National Election Commission office. The NEC have officially declared
Mhm.
the Pinsville office as unofficial for the fact that it is not in the bailiwick of the city of Monrovia. And you see, that's a we are in serious.
So what's the official headquarters name of Move?
Like I said, we have had series of conversation, and by unanimous consensus, I'm very certain in the next month or two, we will certainly identify a party headquarters that will meet the consent of the National Election Commission, so that we will be in good standing. But beyond that, Emmanuel, as I was speaking earlier, when you have folks who want to survive on the basis of violations of party ordinances, bring us to where we are, and we want to make it clear to you and to the public at large that Move as a formidable political party is at the verge of being stabilized. All of us are aware, all of you are aware in the public sphere, in the media landscape, that the party there have been issues across the table, but then we will settle down. The political leader
Was that the vision of Dr. Jones when he brought your people on board to ensuring that the party lives? And after he left, there been this whole noise all the place, and everybody is...
That was not, and that is still not the vision of Dr. Joseph Mayo Jones. In fact, it is that legacy you see us fighting to uphold. It is that principles, that doctrine of a stable political party. That's why you see us at this point.
What's the meat of the whole struggle? What's that key? I mean, the other ones, there could be, contributing factors, but that real substantive issue that involves around Move.
So
as you, before you continue, I just want to speak very cleanly. What is at stake? It's violation of party ordinances.
That have all been
Where did
the party go wrong?
The party, I mean, you want to know why we are the state at the point we are.
Yeah.
It is because there are folks who want to take unto themselves authority, power that they do not deserve as per our party constitution, with reference to the 2016 constitutions that's before the National Election Commission.
Yeah, Jeremiah.
So, Imed, let me just buttress the chairman a little bit relative to what is at stake currently within our beloved movement for economic empowerment. Quite frankly, we will not come on this show and have on the fact that the party has had some level of internal conflicts surrounding the issue of the party's own status during this post-election era. or during the initial stages of the Unity Party-led government. The issue we move currently is that, like the chairman said, the former political leader, Mr. D. Maxwell Kimaya Sr., has embarked on a process to abrogate or violate the party's constitution, but perpetuating himself as political leader of the party when, in effect, the party's constitution provides that his tenure as political leader has expired.
Does political leader, that position, does it have an expiration date?
Yes, it's not really a specific expiration date.
But the
party constitution says
when
Article 13. Let me provide the information to you.
Article 13.
Article 13, Section 1. It provides that the political leader of the party, who is a standard bearer, his tenure ceases to exist upon the inauguration of the newly elected president. So in 2022, September 27, the Movement for Economic Empowerment, through a program organized by the National Executive Committee, endorsed Ambassador Kimaya as the political leader of the party. And he had the single most function or power to carry the party in a political direction. Since the party was not feeding a presidential candidate in 2023.
And you guys opted to have supported the CDC.
In 2023. The party was not feeding a presidential candidate in 2023. Therefore, we gave Ambassador Kimaya a simple function. And that simple function was for him to provide a political direction for the party.
Which he did.
So what did he do? Yes, he provided the direction of the CDC as the best direction for the party to follow in the 2020 elections. And we did follow. Yes, the party, the National Executive Committee took a decision. We had a national convention, and then we endorsed his direction that yes, the party should support the re-election of the CDC government under former President George Manuel Weah. Now, after we took that decision, we all saw the elections result. The CDC was defeated. Now, with the defeat of the CDC per the Constitution, as of January 2024 of this year, the date on which President Bouaka was inaugurated, Mr. Kimaya role or tenure as political leader of ceases to exist, per what our Constitution provides. But Mr. Kimaya, in an effort to illegally occupy the position of political leader,
Jeremiah, let me just hold you there. After the January 2022, convention that was held, that made him the political leader of the party.
That was in September.
September, okay. 2024 now. We're in August. So did you people call an executive committee meeting to formally maybe discharging of that role?
So there's what happened, right?
Did you? I just want
to explain. It's not. I just want to say something. After the elections, like you asked, it was the responsibility of the national chairman and the national secretary general to convene a meeting.
Did you?
Of the National Executive Committee of the party to reflect on our participation in the 2020 elections and chart a new course of action for the party. Even if it was included for us to extend the tenure of Mr. Kimaya. That did not happen until the national chairman and the national secretary general left this country for some purpose, for a mission outside the country. Now, Mr. Shah, per the Constitution, is the national vice chair for administration. So constitutionally, he now is the acting chairman, and I became the acting secretary general. Now, the both of us now have the authority to convene the national executive committee. And that's why I'm learning. I'm getting there. So we now have the authority to convene a national executive committee of the party. When we call the first meeting of partisans, because after the election, our partisans were disenchanted, some were frustrated and other things. So what we sought to do before we can call a National Executive Committee was to call a gathering of partisans to reconcile them on National Unification Day, which was on May 14. That's the incident the chairman made mention of. That was the last time we went to the party headquarters. When we call all of our partisans across Mosul and the nearby to gather at the party headquarters, and when we were going, Mr. Kimaya occurred us to institute violence at the headquarters of the party. We resisted access of the party headquarters. We were pepper spray. Violence were meted up against us in the presence of the police, and we identified the real leaders of the violence against us. They were picked up and carried to the police station. Mr. Kimaya,
who is benefiting in the midst of all these
no, there's no one
detentions?
benefiting. But we have passed.
Is it benefiting move, not the partisans?
No, we understand that the show of conflict and the show of division in move to the public in recent times seem to be harming the party.
And that's why
we have taken steps. So like the chairman said, we have decided to lead a process of reuniting and reconciling our members by announcing what we call the National Reconciliation and Reunification Conference. So very soon, in a few days, the National Executive Committee of the party will be convening a conference wherein we'll be able to reconcile with all of our partisans who may have issues one way or the other. But the individuals that you have been seeing at the party headquarters who currently dwell there are individuals who have been sponsored by Mr. Kimaya.
I don't want you to just,
for men.
Just 1 minute. I just don't want you to spill our war allegations, because
no, for us, allegations. Even you say you've been covering.
Yeah,
even you say you've been covering.
So the point,
press conferences at the party headquarters.
1 minute. The point is, a decision was taken by some members of the executive committee. I don't know them, but that meeting was held, and a decision was taken to get you people suspended. The first meeting that was held, and you came out and said, as far as you are concerned, you remain the legitimate acting chair of the Movement for Economic Empowerment, acting secretary general. Another meeting was held, and a decision was taken, and in those meetings, when I say you and the both of you were being expelled, including some top partisans of the party. But the point is, people believe that in spite of your expulsion, you stay carrying as chairman, as acting secretary. So the fact that you keep claiming that title makes it worse in terms of the reconciliation.
No, we are not claiming. We are. I don't want you to use the expression "we are claiming." We are not claiming. We are the legitimate, constitutionally recognized leaders of the move. Now, the individuals who have been putting all the utterances through what you call meetings at the party headquarters are individuals who do not have the authority. They are not clothed with the powers to even call a gathering of the National Executive Committee. The party constitution is very clear. Only the national chairman or the acting chairman in the national chairman stead has that power to convene the setting of the National Executive Committee.
It is written in Article 11
and 14. Any other
14.
individual who call a setting of members of the National Executive Committee is just, I think it's just a meeting of conversation or mere conversation, but not official, or it's nothing that will represent the party, because all of the individuals who gather at the party headquarters to have a meeting honor the citation of Mr. Prince Mayor, who is a county chairman of Nima County.
Prince Mayor,
have been gathering illegally, unconstitutionally. Their actions are unconstitutional. Their actions are bogus. It's not bottled into the laws of movement, bylaws, and constitution.
Let's go to
so I don't want you to give credence to those meetings that were being held.
The meeting, they are all partisans of MOVE.
Yeah, but I just provided the information to you that in MOVE constitution, it is only the chairman who has the authority to convene National Executive Committee meeting. Other than that,
how would the chairman convene a meeting when he's been expelled?
No, you said they had the first meeting and suspended.
Yeah.
So who had the authority to even call meeting in the first place to are taking the decision of suspension for investigation? Who has the authority? Is it a candidate here? That's illegal.
Can we move
More
forward?
to that, email, more to that. All of those meetings that were held at the party's headquarters had never met quorum.
Yes, sir.
Had never met quorum.
Were
The
you there?
first meeting,
Were you there?
we know all the individuals
Were
that
you
were there.
there, Jeremiah?
We have records. There are people there. We have information to our fingertip. The first meeting you are talking about, currently, the National Executive Committee of MOVE is composed of 38 persons. That meeting, the first meeting you're making mention of, there were only 8 National Executive Committee members present. The second meeting you're talking about, there were only 10 National Executive Committee members present. And the Constitution says, for the National Executive Committee to meet, you must have a quorum of simple majority. So out of 38, simple majority is 20. So they never even met the threshold. So all actions taken without meeting quorum is deemed illegal and not to be taken serious.
Let's go to.
I don't want you to get credence.
Let's go to Matthew.
no
Matthew, in the wake of all the noise, the tension, the wadu balu, I mean, what are you doing to address this? You just talk about conference. You're not even sure. You're not even specific about the ongoing engagement
Let me
you're having to ensuring that peace reigns and
let
movement.
me continue from the premise laid by the distinguished Secretary General of our party. Unlike us, our colleagues who are in total violation of our party laws, each time we gather, whether it is a resolution, whether it is a party's NEC meetings, we have signatories. We have people who attest or affix their signatures to our gatherings. Ask them. Go to the county chair for Nimba. Ask him. Those who attend his meetings, ask him where are the signatories. And as you said, we at this point we are bent on calling all of our partisans to reconcile the party. That is the premise. That is the most and foremost important thing right now we are concentrated on. So, regard to your question, as it is, what can we do to
in the maze of all the conflict, the noise?
Emmanuel, I told you
Emmanuel,
I told you not too long that we are at the verge of stabilizing our party. And it will be done through the National Reconciliation and Unification Conference. And that will include all of our partisans, including those who are currently agitated, who are on the other side, who being aided and abetted by the former political leader to violate our party laws. They all will be coming on board.
How's the political marriage between you and the CDC?
But
I think
before the chairman talk about the political marriage, whatever existing between the CDC and MOVE, I just like to add on to the question you earlier asked as to what are we doing. There are 2 ways we have handling this thing. We have proposed the issue of holding a National Reconciliation Conference instead of holding a national convention. But as we speak to you, Mr. Kimaya is bent on sponsoring an illegitimate national convention of the party with the intent of trying to institute his puppet and stooges into leadership of the party and to maintain the party as so I will refer to that not as a member of any coalition, but quote unquote as an auxiliary of the CDC. And those are the 2 things we have kicking against. That's why we have called for a national reconciliation. Besides that, another thing we have done is that Mr. Kimaya is insisting on
I don't want Mr. Kimaya to be the center of
you ask what we're doing.
Yeah,
but you ask the root of the conflict, and the conflict surrounds Mr. Kimaya. So we cannot discuss it without talking about him. We are not making any derogatory statement or negative remarks toward him. We are just discussing the issue. See, Mr. Kimaya is insisting on violating our constitution. We have taken flat to the National Elections Commission. We are officially complained to the National Elections Commission to intervene to stop him from further meddling into the day-to-day affairs of the party, because he continue as political leader has expired per our constitution. So those are the two things that we are currently pursuing, intended to make the party unified.
How will you be
and to
calling
move
for
forward.
reconciliation? You know that Ambassador Kimaya has a serious stake in move. You know he has control over some partisans. You can disown that. Then you want to put in one side. Do you think that you want to be successful?
No, not about putting in one side.
Emmanuel, we
It's
are
about
not
following what the party's laws say.
Emmanuel.
Not holding the constitution. Not about putting in one
Emmanuel,
side.
we are not putting the former political leader on one side. We are in line with our party constitution. It is the party's constitution we are interpreting to you. But let me come to your question with regard to our marriage in the coalition. Emmanuel, you are aware that, in fact, the original funders or signatories to the coalitions have all led this marriage. This is not the primage for which we are exiting, but our party, to the office of our national secretary,
what does it stand in this marriage?
has officially communicated to the standard bearer of the coalition, or let's say the Congress for Democratic Change, rather, Mr. Weah, that we have officially expressed the desire to exit the marriage. And I think that communication has been also forwarded to the National Election Commission and has been sent to the current acting chair, Mr. Janga Ko, that we, you see, elections is over. Certainly we had a marriage. We want to take a moment to reflect and rebrand our party. And that does not call for us in a process for the next 6 years.
Not a time for alliance.
There's no logic back in this. We are saying we want to withdraw our party, that which we have started to do, and I'm very sure certainly we will get the green light. We want to bring our party back home. We want to bring all of our partisans together and rebrand our party. We want to be an independent opposition political party that will make decisions, not being influenced
Great.
by a coalition.
This is the Bomba Show. Of course, we have roughly 9 minutes left. So we'll take calls and then we'll go back. We've been discussing move, of course, some trending issues in country. Jeremiah Pay, Machi Shen, they are my guests this evening on the show. My name is Emmanuel Colley. Let's start taking your calls now to 0770-567764, 0770-567764. The movement for economic empowerment move has been in the news, of course, a power struggle, and once people say, hey, the other person, hey. So, I mean, like Mr. Shen said, they are in the process of reconciliation so that the party peace can reign. Good evening. Welcome to the Bomba Show. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello. Oh, my gosh. The two calls drop at the same time. 0770-567764. Let me talk to this person on the line. Good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Isaac Sigbe, and I'm calling you from Tapeta.
Hi, it's Tapeta Nimba.
Yeah, Nimba County. Good evening to our studio guest.
Good evening.
I just listened to you, and when you talk about the corruption that is still existing in the past government. But I really want to understand, since we are government did not, audit the previous government, don't you think the present government will have gone back to the 12 years era to start with the audit? That's number one. And don't you think it was necessary to, as a party that was, having marriage with the previous government, to advise Alatan, to advise the president to, audit the previous government?
Okay.
That's my question this afternoon. Thank you very much for your
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Yes, good evening. My name is Alfred Wagaro, and I call you from around the Panama Belt.
Alfred, good to have you. Go ahead, make your point.
Yes, there are issues coming up, most especially trending issues that are out, but for a nation to come to a certain place where there will be some sort of a policy for those that will come into government, a step must be taken. And I think it is the step now that is being taken mostly and holistic fight against corruption that will serve as a deterrent for those that will be coming. So was taken aback to have heard the former president speaking of fighting corruption now is away from most, especially where he sees it to be those of his former government, but he forgot to know that this fight is not against the CDC. This fight is against corrupt officials, people who have looted our country, people who have then raped our country national covers, and this fight it is against them. This fight is not against the CDC.
Thank you, Alfred. Yes. Thank you so much. We have to hold you there. Let's see who can talk to this person. Please leave from the noise. Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Please leave from the noise. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. All right. My name is Pastor Norbert Dovey Johnson. Hello?
Go ahead. We're hearing you. From where, sir?
My name is Norbert Dovey Johnson. I'm calling from River G Fish Town.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I would like to say thank you for this show. What I want to contribute to you is that actually I want to advise President Weah that President Weah should be, very moderate, and also he should get chance for this government to carry on her work, because during the campaign of the CDC, CDC said that they were here to fight corruption. Are you getting me?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Make your
right. CDC said they were here to fight corruption. But immediately when the Weah government was running, the people who work within the government, most especially the hurricane of this government, want to work and betray the man. So therefore, he was having no chance, and he was running this government as a free government. And things were not fine with him. As Joseph Boakai government is trying to fight corruption, definitely, I will advise that President Weah should leave this government and see reason that those people, those perpetrators, should not go free.
Thank you. So thank you so much. Let me talk to. I will take two more calls and go back to our guests. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. This is Stevie Young, and I join your conversation from River G Fish Town.
Great. Thank you for joining us from the southeast.
Okay. Let me say kudos to the studio guest.
Oh my gosh. Did you leave the line? Oh, my word, the cause. Oh my God. Hello, welcome to the show. Oh my God. Leave from the radio, please. The feedback is just...
Yeah, I'm powerful now.
Go ahead. Yeah, just 30 seconds. We have to go, please.
No problem, brother. Okay. Thank you so much to your study guests also for the show. Thank you for you people understanding that coming together as institutions is very more paramount to your institution.
Okay.
I think that's the most care you people have taken.
Okay.
And to see to it that you call your member attention, that you also understand that you're there for one purpose and you fight why you're sinful. That is also will be important for your party.
Thank
now
you.
To go to our former leader.
Just 10 seconds, please. We have to go.
Yeah, that was your supplementary. I think when somebody try to implement your message that you were preaching people, you should be the one to embrace the idea.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have that's just a 1 minute. Jeremiah and Matthew, the calls. If we mind the call, we won't go on today. Let me just get your parting comment and the call.
Yeah, so let me begin. I want to say to the Liberian people,
be brave, please. We have to go for our news.
I want to say to the listening public and partisans of Move Following was that we are committed to reconciling the party.
Okay.
We know that there was some semblance of division in the public of late, but we have to make our mind to lead a national reconciliation process and that the movement for economic empowerment welcomes the party-led government decision to prosecute individuals who are indicted into several GSC audit reports or who may have been seen as caught or may have whatever got involved into corrupting the public space.
Thank you. Let's, Chief.
Thank you.
Just a second. We have to go.
Thank you, Emmanuel. We appreciate the opportunity to share with our people across the length and breadth of the country. We appreciate the calls, in fact, from as far as Southeastern. Our course, our desire to unify our party is unchanging. We will not compromise anything until all of us, as partisans of the movement for economic empowerment,